Welcome to The Political Mechanic, where we discuss political economy. My name is Stephen Thane. Today we're going to talk about the importance of unity within the Republican Party. Growing support for democratic socialism threatens our families, our liberty, and our prosperity. How serious is this problem? Well, let's look at some of the numbers. In Minnesota, Democratic Socialist Governor Tim Walz, despite fraud scandals and serious failures of oversight, still held a 48% job approval when he stepped away from his re-election bid. That should alarm us. It shows that even when government fails, nearly half the electorate is still willing to support expanded government power. They seem unwilling to give Republicans a chance. They have been told that we're hateful, racist, and will not associate with us. Nationally, President Donald Trump's approval tells a similar story. Recent polls place his support between 40 and 48%, with one survey showing 41% approval and 49% disapproval. Now, you may question the polls, and that's fair. I often do. But if they're even close, one thing is clear. Republican victories are not guaranteed. Margins are thin, and every election matters. Why this matters is because when voters are dissatisfied, they don't always move toward better ideas. They often move towards simpler promises. That's where democratic socialism finds its opening, because they can make lots of empty promises. And division is the fuel for socialism. Democratic socialism thrives in division. When Americans turn against each other, it creates the perfect opening for socialists to take power. Freedom requires unity because liberty requires respect, service, and sacrifice. These traits are harder to build, while socialism grows when there is envy, entitlement, and anger. And these latter traits are easier to cultivate. If the Republican Party, the primary defender of free markets and limited government, fractures from within, democratic socialism will fill the vacuum and expand government power even further. The greatest threat to Idaho faces is not only democratic socialism itself, it is Republican infighting that opens the door for Democrats to gain power. Idaho is a conservative state, but it is not immune. When Republicans turn on each other, voters don't always sort through ideology. They often stay home, split their vote, and look for moderate alternatives. That is how conservative states lose ground. History warns us where this leads. In 1912, conservatives divided between William Howard Taft and Theodore Roosevelt. The result wasn't reform, it was Woodrow Wilson and the birth of the modern administrative state. And Wilson won with only 41.8% of the vote. President Trump and his administration, I think, are making real progress. But the 2026 election will still determine whether that progress holds. And even in Idaho, that outcome is not guaranteed. Division weakens resistance to socialism. Unity is our one true defense. In the next video, I'll explain a little bit of my views on the basis of unity, and it is not conformity. Thank you.